Merhaba from Keswick Village. This is the Rorschach Turkey update from the 5th of August, 2025, a quick summary of what's going down in Turkey. On Sunday the 3rd, Israeli minister entered Al-Aqsa Mosque under police escort alongside settler groups, sparking outrage across the region. The site, sacred to both Muslims and Jews, has long been a flashpoint in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In response, Turkey's foreign minister issued a strong condemnation, calling the raid a dangerous provocation. Officials warned that repeated acts like this damage peace efforts and target the core of the two-state solution. The statement also criticized Israelis' continued destabilizing actions in Palestinian territories and renewed Turkey's call for an immediate ceasefire and a just, lasting peace. The government emphasized that protecting Jerusalem's sacred identity is not just a regional issue, but a shared moral responsibility for all of humanity. This week, prosecutors indicted dozens in a wide-reaching fraud network that exploited Turkey's digital credential systems. Authorities say the group cloned official electronic signatures to forge documents, including 39 fake university diplomas and altering traffic exam records. In some cases, they reportedly deleted real data, such as records of deceased earthquake victims, to insert fake identities. The scheme affected multiple institutions and ministries, from the Higher Education Council to the Environment Ministry. One figure stood out: Mehden Yekesher, a 29-year-old drug dealer with only a middle school education, who used at least 6 fake identities to access e-signatures tied to public officials. He allegedly used one to appoint himself as narcotics chief commissioner. This development has raised national alarm over vulnerabilities in public databases and the ease of forging government credentials. On another note, Bülent Arınç, a longtime politician from the ruling Justice and Development Party and former parliament speaker, defended Murat Çelik, the detained mayor of the Beylikdüzü from the main opposition, the Republican People's Party, or CHP, during a live interview. Arınç said Çelik, who remains under arrest without a formal indictment, should be released due to serious health concerns. He visited Çelik in a sterilized hospital ward, noting that he is being fed through a tube and lives in isolation, with limited visits from his family. Arınç criticized media outlets for saying Çelik was healthy. He also said the legal process was flawed. Normally, a release would require approval from the Forensic Medicine Institute, but since Çelik hasn't been convicted, a judge or prosecutor could approve his release without it. Some tragic news from the southern city of Iskenderun, as last week, 2 conscripts at the Naval Infantry Training Regiment died after an officer reportedly forced the entire unit to stand under the sun for hours without water. Following an attempted escape by a few soldiers, they suffered severe fluid loss and organ failure. 5 others collapsed and were hospitalized. Yanka Bajola, the CHP vice chair and a member of the Parliament's Defense Commission, visited them at the hospital. He said ambulances arrived only after multiple soldiers lost consciousness. On Sunday, the 27th, the government reportedly rejected the CHP's call for a parliamentary inquiry. Bajolo then demanded a full and transparent investigation. The incident has sparked widespread outrage on social media, with criticism focused on troop safety, lack of medical urgency, and the collective punishments of soldiers. On Monday, the 4th, Abdülkadir Salve, a columnist for the Hürriyet newspaper, revealed that the National Intelligence Organization, or MIT, had conducted a secret operation to rescue 2 of its operatives held hostage by the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, for 4 years. One operative was found dead during the mission. The surviving operative reunited with his family after years in captivity. Salvi described the operation as a positive result of ongoing talks with Abdullah Öcalan, the imprisoned PKK leader, and marked a significant step in the terror-free Turkey peace efforts. Next up, on Sunday the 3rd, 3 students at Osman Ötken Anatolian High School in the southern city of Antakya received 3-day suspension orders for putting up supportive posters for teachers who were reassigned under the Project School policy, which allows the Ministry of Education to transfer teachers to different schools without input from staff or parents. The students' poster said things like, "We support our teacher, don't you?" and "Students ask questions." The school's disciplinary board reportedly voted to cancel the punishment at first, but the principal held a second vote and pressured staff into changing the initial vote, getting the result overturned. One parent said the school threatened his daughter with terrorism charges and even denied her lunch. Families accused the administration of abuse of power and violating student rights. The recent fires in the country, which we have reported on in previous shows, brought attention back to firefighters' long-standing demand to be recognized as a profession, not just as a job. Currently, firefighters fall under the General Administrative Services category in civil service law. This classification treats them like general workers without specific rights, clear role definitions, or career paths tailored to the risks they face. Firefighters want a new legal status called the firefighting profession and a central fire department directorate to set consistent standards, training, and equipment. Union leaders and lawyers stressed the need for a specialized, well-equipped, and legally protected firefighting force like those in the European Union and International Labor Organization guidelines. Next up, on Monday the 4th, Japan's embassy in Ankara hosted a commemoration marking 135 years since the Aratoro Frigate tragedy in Wakayama, where the deadly incident happened. In September 1889, the Aratoro Frigate, carrying an Ottoman diplomatic mission, sank off Wakayama's coast, claiming hundreds of lives. The local community in Kusimoto rescued dozens of survivors, creating a lasting bond between Japan and Turkey. Ambassador Katamatad said the tragedy laid the foundation for its enduring friendship. The ceremony celebrated the deep and lasting connection between the two nations. In other news, Mustafa Ilacala, the director of Istanbul Commerce University's Transportation Systems Research Center, shared plans to speed up public transport in Istanbul. The city faces worsening traffic, with average speeds dropping below 10 kilometers or 6 miles per hour. To fix this, officials designed a 120-kilometer or 75-mile bus priority lane network, aiming to cut travel and waiting times for buses. They selected an 80-kilometer or 50-mile pilot route expected to launch this year. Ilacala stressed that despite previous groundwork under a former mayor, the city needs to take urgent action now as roads are clogged mostly by cars. He called for reallocating road space to buses and public transit, pushing Istanbul to prioritize buses with dedicated lanes. This project hopes to boost public transport use and ease the city's notorious gridlock. On Tuesday, the 5th and Ankara Administrative Court paused the Radio and Television Supreme Council, or RTÜK's, 5-day broadcast blackout against the opposition channel Tele 1. The court is still reviewing the case, but in the meantime, Tele 1 does not have to stop broadcasting while the court reviews the case. RTÜK had ordered Tele 1 to go off the air starting midnight between Wednesday the 6th and Thursday the 7th due to controversial remarks from journalist Madan Yanada on the show 4 Questions, 4 Answers. What's iconic is that the punishment came on the 24th of July, Press Freedom Day, which marks the end of censorship in the country. And to wrap up this edition, on Friday the 1st, Metro Istanbul confirmed extended service hours for the 4th Istanbul Festival at Yenikapı Festival Park. The festival runs from Friday the 1st to the 17th of August, excluding Monday the 4th and Monday the 11th. 8 metro lines will run until half past midnight to handle the expected crowds. These include M1A, M1B, M2, M4, M5, M6, M7, and M8. The M4, M5, and M8 lines coordinate their last trains with the Marmaray Tube schedule. Istanbul Municipality also arranged extra trips overnight to ease transportation during festival events. And that's it for this week. Thank you for joining us. Did you know that we do lots of other updates? We've got 3 non-country updates, the Arctic, ocean, and multilateral updates, and country updates with a selection of nations from across the world. Check the full list with the link in the show notes. Hoşça kalın.